Alright everyone, welcome back to another review, and this time I'm going to be reviewing Batman Year One, which is the adaptation of the Frank Miller graphic novel of the same name. Let's waste no time, let's get right into it. My initial impression of Batman Year One, the movie, really damn good. This is a solid movie. Now I'd never really read the graphic novel, but I've known of the graphic novel, and I've seen images of the graphic novel, and this movie is kind of like the Watchmen movie. It's a pretty much straightforward adaptation of the graphic novel. Maybe some minor changes here and there, but if you blink, you'll never catch them. Unless you have the novel side by side with you, and even if it is, you still won't catch it because this is a straightforward adaptation of the graphic novel. It maintains the core of the story, which is pretty much covers Batman's first initial year. It covers Bruce Wayne's first initial year as the Batman, as the Dark Knight. It establishes his relationship with Commissioner Gordon, which I really like. I like the whole dual story that goes on. At the same time, we see Bruce Wayne's origins becoming Batman. We're also being followed by Jim Gordon, who has been recently transferred to Gotham City under the leadership of Commissioner Loeb, who is as corrupt as they come. Commissioner Loeb, he's in bed with Carmine Falcone. They pretty much run Gotham with an iron fist, and Gotham is pretty much the most fraught with crime city ever. Loeb and Falcone have a stranglehold over the city, over the drugs and everything. So, yeah, Gotham is not the safest place in the world to be. And you got Commissioner Gordon, who is as straight-laced can come. And this story also, like I said, acts as Gordon's ascension into being the man that gives the Gotham PD the positive light that it needs, like that driving force it needs, that it will eventually become once he takes over. So yeah, I really like that whole dual story thing goes on. Like I said, the parallels between the two, between Batman and the Commissioner and Commissioner Gordon, is fantastic, and the voice acting is also really good. You got Bryan Cranston as Commissioner Gordon, awesome choice. I love Bryan Cranston, huge fan of Bryan Cranston. Him voicing Commissioner Gordon it just goes together like peanut butter and jelly. It's perfect. They're perfect for one another. And you got Benjamin McKenzie, who coincidentally plays Gordon in the Gotham TV show. He is voicing Bruce Wayne Batman, and I'm not really a big fan of his voiceover and this voice work in this movie. But it does kind of go with the material. I get the idea of having a younger voice play Bruce Wayne Batman. In this movie, Batman is about 25 years old, so his voice is pretty good. I think the thing is that when he goes to do that deep Batman voice, it sounds off to me. But his Bruce Wayne is fantastic. I love the energy the energy he brings as Bruce Wayne is fantastic. And there are also certain scenes as Batman where he does pull it off okay, but there are also certain scenes where to me it comes off a little flat. I think in this case he could have used a little voice modulation. I think that could have been a little better because him doing a more deeper voice, it just sounded off to me. It didn't really sound all that different from his regular voice, which in the context of the story, since this is Batman's first go around before he became the season pro, I get it. I would have done it maybe a little slightly differently, but whatever. And of course, this movie also serves as an origin for Catwoman, Selina Kyle. We find out that she's a prostitute. Frank Miller loves his prostitutes. Remember that. So, yeah, and Catwoman's voiced by Elisha Dushku, who does a really good job with what she's given to work with. I like it a lot. Catwoman's given something to do. I like the whole jealousy she has when Batman starts taking credit for things she does once Selina Kyle becomes Catwoman. And I love the reaction she has when the news called her Batman's assistant. She just gets so bent out of shape. So I like those little bits that she has. That's peppered throughout the movie. You have, I think, Fred Tatasciore plays Arnold Flass, who works with Loeb, and Flass is just, he's just a dick. He's like this pompous, arrogant prick. There's a scene where he beats up Gordon when he threatens him not to like rat him out. Then Gordon gets the better of him in a really cool scene, and you got Flass who covers it up because Flass has pride. He doesn't want, but it pretty much puts everyone in check, puts him Flass in check that Gordon not someone to fuck around with, and that he will defend himself and he will take it down. And I love the fact that this movie has equal time between Gordon and Batman. Gordon, to me, is one of my favorite, Bat family characters. He has a lot of dimension, a lot of depth. He is a straight-laced cop, but his personal life, not so much. This movie covers the affair he has with Sarah Essen while his wife is pregnant with his son. And you can tell. Well, Gordon, at the end of the day, is a nice guy. He's also a human being he's also a human being, and even good human beings can sometimes be compromised. So I like that whole thing, but it doesn't demonize Gordon because he comes across still as like the guy who will eventually save Gotham from the corrupt police department, which he and Batman eventually do. And I like throughout the course of the movie where at first Gordon sees Batman as I'm not going to say he's an enemy, but just a lawless vigilante. But when it comes to the end and Batman saves his son from dying, that is what brings the two together. Because that's when Gordon realizes, this guy is, he's not out for himself. He's doing this he's doing this for all the right reasons. He's doing this for good. Criminals are superstitious lot, and dressing up as Batman plays on the fears and those superstitions that criminals have. And there's some cool scenes where that happens. Like there's whole scene where Batman goes to Falcone's house while he's having a party, and he pretty much threatens all the families, and like the fear that they convey is great. And speaking of Falcone, he's voiced by the late great Alex Rocco, and he does a solid job as well with the material he's given to work with. My main problem with this movie, not enough Harvey Dent. Goddamn, what do I gotta do to see a Batman movie that actually showcases more Two-Face, for God's sakes? Two-Face, voiced by Robin Atkin Downes, talented voice actor. I would have loved to have seen more, especially since, Gordon, Dent, and Batman early on were the trilogy or the triangle. The trifecta, the three men that wanted to bring balance and hope to Gotham. I wanted to see that further get developed. But we see Dent for like 2 seconds when Gordon is suspicious that he could possibly be Batman. And that's the only time you see Gordon. And I'm like, oh, give me more, give me more. Again, it's a nitpick. Doesn't take away from the movie. I'm just a diehard Two-Face fan. But anyway, like I said, all said and done, Batman Year One, amazing movie, like I said. Does a great job at the parallel storytelling between Batman and Bruce Wayne. Develops them both perfectly. The Catwoman stuff is done really well. And of course, the developing and budding relationship that Gordon and Batman will eventually have is also solidly done. So yes, and all in all, this movie to me is a solid 10 out of 10. This is one of the good ones. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend you watch it. Well, that's my review of Batman Year One. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.